Muscles of the lower limb. The muscles of the lower limb are divided into four major groups. Number 1, the muscles of the gluteal region. Number 2, the muscles of the thigh. Number 3, the muscles of the leg. And number 4, muscles of the foot. First, we will discuss the muscles of the gluteal region. We divide the muscles of the gluteal region into two groups. Number 1, a deep group of small muscles which mainly rotate the femur at the hip joint. And it makes sense because small muscle cannot abduct or extend the femur. They can only rotate the femur. And number 2, a superficial group of large muscles which mainly abduct and extend the femur at the hip joint. Since these are the large muscles, they has the power to abduct. The muscles of the deep group include piriformis muscle, obturator internus muscle, superior gemellus muscle, inferior gemellus muscle, and the quadratus femoris muscle. These 5 are the deep group of small muscle. As you can see, these are present deep to the bones and these are small muscles. Now we came to the superficial group of large muscles. There are 4 muscles in this group. Number 1, gluteus maximus muscle, gluteus medius muscle, tensor fascia lata. Now deep to these 3 muscles is present the 4th muscle of the superficial group, that is the gluteus minimus muscle. First we will discuss the deep group of small muscle of the gluteal region. I will discuss each muscle in a separate video. In this video I will discuss the piriformis muscle in detail, which is part of deep group of small muscle. The piriformis muscle is the most superior of the deep groups of muscle. As you can see, these 5s are the deep group of small muscle and the piriformis is the most superior of all the 5 muscles. Now we came to the origin of the piriformis muscle. It originates from the anterior surface of the sacrum bone. After origination, it passes laterally and inferiorly through the greater sciatic foramen. This is the greater sciatic foramen in which the piriformis muscle passes. In the gluteal region, the piriformis muscle passes posterior to the hip joint. As you can see, this is the hip joint and this is the piriformis muscle present posterior to the hip joint. And the insertion of the piriformis muscle is on the superior border of the greater trochanter. This is the greater trochanter of the femur. And this is the superior border of the greater trochanter in which the piriformis muscle is inserted. The main action of the piriformis muscle is the external rotation of the femur at the hip joint. The piriformis muscle is innervated by the branches from S1 and S2 of the sacral plexus. In addition, the piriformis muscle divides the greater sciatic foramen into 2 regions, one above and one below the piriformis muscle. As you can see, this is the part of the greater sciatic foramen above the piriformis muscle and this is the part of the greater sciatic foramen below the piriformis muscle. Vessels and nerve passes between the pelvic and the gluteal region by passing through the greater sciatic foramen either above or below the piriformis muscle. Next is the obturator internus muscle.